There is a power moving in the unseen, a force far greater than any human mind can comprehend. To be chosen by God is not simply a title. It is a divine appointment, a sacred calling that sets you apart. But with that calling comes a battle. A spiritual war rages, often invisible to the naked eye, where the forces of darkness plot and scheme, believing they can bring down God's anointed. They think they are untouchable. They weave webs of lies, deceit, and malice, convinced their plots will bury you. But here's the unshakable truth. You were never fighting alone. The very heavens are aligned in your favor, and those who rise against you unknowingly sign their own spiritual death warrant. Let this be a wake-up call. Messing with a chosen one is not just picking a fight, it is challenging the authority of the Most High. And that is a battle no one can win. God has a way of allowing the wicked to dig their own graves while they try to destroy the righteous. Statistics say that 92% of those who conspire against others eventually face severe consequences, whether through karma, divine justice, or their own downfall. But here's the divine twist. When someone targets a chosen one, those odds jump to 100%. This isn't superstition. It's spiritual law. And today, we are going to uncover exactly why the chosen are untouchable, why the enemies of God's people always fall, and how divine justice unfolds with precise and devastating accuracy. Energy is like a mirror. What people project into the world comes back to them, often magnified. But when someone targets a chosen one, this reflection becomes lethal. Hatred, envy, deceit. These dark energies don't just vanish, they gather momentum, grow in strength, and come crashing back upon the sender, destroying them from within. They think they're aiming at you, but they're only setting themselves up for destruction. God's anointed walk with a spiritual immunity, an invisible armor that not only shields them, but actively returns negativity to its source. This isn't passive protection, it's an active force. The more hatred they send, the stronger the backlash. The trap they set for you becomes the pit they fall into. What they fail to understand is this: their attacks are tainted by their own darkness. The hatred, fear, and brokenness they project only amplify when it returns, tearing their lives apart. Their obsession with harming you becomes their undoing. They're not battling you. They're battling their own demons, amplified by their own intentions. And you walk forward, untouched, while they burn in the very fire they lit. Divine justice is never random. It is precise, intentional, and perfectly executed. God does not act out of impulse or emotion. He moves with strategy and purpose. Every lie told, every betrayal committed, and every malicious scheme crafted against you is met with a response so deliberate and exact that it leaves no room for doubt. It is clearly divine in origin. God sees everything. He is never caught off guard. Long before your enemies begin to plot, God already knows their plans. He watches every hidden move, every whispered lie, and every dark intention. Yet, in His wisdom, God doesn't always stop them immediately. Sometimes He allows them to continue, to become more confident in their wicked ways, believing they are succeeding. Why? Because in their arrogance, they unknowingly build the very structure of their own downfall, brick by brick. The weapons they carefully form to harm you do not vanish. Instead, they are turned against them. Their lies become the trap that ensnares them. Their betrayal isolates them. Their deceit poisons their own relationships. God allows their actions to unfold until the perfect moment arrives, and then He strikes with precision. God's justice is not broad or general. It is deeply personal and perfectly tailored. For some, their punishment comes through the loss of power, status, and influence. For others, it manifests in broken relationships, financial ruin, failing health, or even a loss of mental peace. Whatever they value most becomes the very thing that crumbles. The unraveling is specific, deliberate, and leaves no doubt that their suffering is the result of divine intervention. For the chosen, this is a powerful reminder. You do not need to fight. You don't have to defend yourself, seek revenge, or lower yourself to their level. God's justice operates beyond anything you could do. He fights for you with a force that no human can withstand. Your very existence is a direct threat to darkness. As a chosen one, you carry a powerful spiritual light that naturally disrupts anything built on lies, manipulation, and deceit. Without even trying, your presence exposes the hidden toxicity in others, their insecurities, their false intentions, and their unhealed wounds. You are like an antidote to poison, neutralizing the darkness that others try to spread. This isn't something you asked for. It's not something you can turn off or hide. It's simply who you are. The light within you was placed there by God, and it shines brightly whether you speak or stay silent. That light forces people to confront the darkness within themselves. For some, this confrontation sparks deep reflection and transformation. They recognize their flaws and begin the difficult journey toward healing and growth. But for others, this reflection is unbearable. They are unwilling to face their own brokenness, and instead of changing, they choose to fight against your light. They lash out. They try to dim your glow, attacking you with gossip, lies, jealousy, and hatred. But here's the divine truth. Every attempt to harm you only backfires. Their hatred doesn't weaken you. It magnifies their own inner chaos. The more they try to hurt you, the more they become entangled in their own darkness. They don't realize that their anger and bitterness are consuming them from within. Their energy becomes wasted on a losing battle, while you continue to rise, untouched and unshaken. You don't need to fight back. Your light, your presence, and your purpose are more than enough. And that, for them, is the most unbearable truth of all. When someone becomes obsessed with a chosen one, they unknowingly set themselves on a path of slow and inevitable destruction. Obsession is not just an emotion. It's a toxic poison that seeps into every corner of their mind and soul. It often begins subtly, with small sparks of jealousy and envy. But over time, those sparks ignite into an uncontrollable fire that consumes them from the inside out. Instead of focusing on their own growth, success, and happiness, they become completely consumed by thoughts of your downfall. Every moment they spend plotting against you is a moment stolen from their own progress. They cannot celebrate their own victories because they are too focused on trying to prevent yours. Their days become filled with bitterness, their nights restless with thoughts of how to bring you down. But here's the divine irony. While they waste away in hatred, you continue to rise. God's favor lifts you higher, guiding you forward, untouched and unbothered. No matter how hard they try to harm you, their efforts crumble, and it is their own life that begins to fall apart. Their closest relationships start to suffer. Friends and family grow distant as their toxic obsession pushes people away. Their inner peace shatters, leaving them anxious, restless, and empty. Even their physical health begins to decline under the weight of constant stress and anger. This obsession becomes a self-inflicted wound that never heals. They slowly spiral into a spiritual death, consumed by the very hatred they refuse to release. In the end, their downfall isn't caused by you. It's the result of their own poisoned heart. All because they couldn't let go. They walk with confidence, believing they are the hunters, carefully stalking their prey, setting traps, and weaving lies to bring you down. But what they fail to realize is that God is the true master of the battlefield. While they plot in secrecy, God is already many steps ahead, turning their own schemes into traps designed for their downfall. Every lie they whisper, every deceitful plan they craft, is carefully woven into the very net that God is preparing for them. In His infinite wisdom, God allows their arrogance to grow, letting them believe they are winning, feeding their pride so they become blind to the danger they are walking into. They see their plans unfolding and assume they have gained the upper hand, never realizing that each step forward is another step closer to their own destruction. And then, when the time is right, the trap snaps shut. God's judgment is not rushed. It is patient, deliberate, and perfectly timed. But when it finally comes, it is complete and devastating. Their alliances, once so strong, crumble. The people they relied on for support turn away. Their carefully built plans collapse like sandcastles under a rising tide. The very weapons they formed to destroy you become the tools of their own ruin. They thought they were clever, digging a pit for you to fall into. But in the end, it is they who tumble into the darkness they created. Their downfall is not by accident. It is the result of divine justice. God will not be mocked. Those who plot against his chosen will always fall victim to the traps they set for others. Those who plot against you believe they're simply targeting another person, someone they can manipulate, intimidate, or overpower. But what they fail to realize is that they are stepping into a battle far beyond their understanding. You are surrounded by an invisible shield, not of luck or coincidence, but of divine protection crafted by the hands of God himself. This shield is not fragile, it is unbreakable, forged through spiritual armor that deflects every attack aimed your way. No weapon formed against you can prosper because your protection is rooted in something eternal. God's timing is always perfect, ensuring that you are always one step ahead, safely guided away from harm and placed exactly where you need to be. But your protection doesn't stop there. Generations before you have spoken blessings and prayers over your life, words of protection, strength, and favor. These prayers are like deep roots, anchoring you firmly through every storm. They create a foundation so strong that no attack can shake you. Your enemies don't understand this. They think they are fighting you, but in reality, they are waging war against divine forces far greater than anything they can comprehend. They strike blindly, unaware that every move they make is blocked, intercepted, and turned back on them by powers they cannot see. They cannot touch you because they are fighting a force they will never understand, a force that cannot be defeated. God stands before you, beside you, and behind you, and no human scheme can break through his protection. You are not just another person walking through this world. You are sacred territory, set apart and divinely protected. To rise against you is not simply a personal attack. It is a direct violation of spiritual law, an offense against God's divine authority. Those who plot against you fail to realize that they are not merely challenging you. They are trespassing on holy ground, stepping into a realm where they have no power and no right to stand. And make no mistake, God does not take this lightly. The one who called you, anointed you, and placed his hand upon your life will not stand idly by while enemies attempt to harm you. Their actions carry consequences that are both swift and severe. One by one, the foundations of their lives begin to crumble. Their health weakens, their peace disappears, their relationships fracture, and their carefully laid plans fall apart. The more they push, the harder they fall. Their relentless pursuit to harm you only accelerates their own destruction. Every step they take against you brings them closer to the consequences they cannot escape. They believe they were battling a person, a human they could intimidate or overpower. But what they fail to understand is that they have challenged God himself. And no one who fights against God can ever win. So stand firm and unshaken. You are protected, not by chance, but by divine design. Every attack against you is met with divine justice, and those who dare to cross that sacred boundary will answer to a power far greater than themselves. They might look like they're winning right now. Their schemes seem to be working, and it may even appear that they are getting away with their actions. But don't be fooled. God's timing is flawless. Divine justice doesn't rush, but it never arrives late. Every move they make is already known. Every hidden motive already exposed before the throne of God. He is watching, waiting for the perfect moment to act. And when that moment comes, it will be more powerful and more precise than anything they could have ever prepared for. What they celebrate as victory is nothing more than the calm before the storm. God allows them to move forward, to grow more confident in their wicked ways, not because he is absent, but because his patience is a space for repentance, His delay is not weakness, it is mercy. He gives them time to change, to turn away from their wrongdoings. But if they refuse, if they continue down the path of destruction, judgment will come. And when it does, it will be swift, undeniable, and unstoppable. Their carefully built plans will crumble. Their false confidence will turn into panic. Every weapon they formed against you will break in their own hands. The power they thought they had will vanish like smoke. God's justice is absolute. No one can outrun it. No one can hide from it. And when it finally comes, it will strike exactly where it hurts the most, leaving no doubt that it was God who brought it to pass. So stay patient, stay faithful. The storm is coming, and God will not be mocked. Let them plot, let them scheme, because every attack against you only brings them closer to their own destruction. You are not alone. You are protected by forces greater than anything they can comprehend. Your strength isn't in retaliation, but in your alignment with divine purpose. You are covered, shielded, and upheld by the Most High. Stay strong, stay faithful, and remember, the battle is already won. If this message has stirred your spirit, don't forget to subscribe, share this truth, and join this growing community of warriors walking in divine power. The best is yet to come. Stay blessed, and may this season bring you peace, joy, and the overflow of God's favor. If you're watching this right now, it's no accident. God has led you here for a reason. Deep in your heart, you may feel that something in your life is off balance, that despite your prayers, hopes, and waiting, the breakthrough hasn't come. But today, God is speaking directly to you. He sees what you're going through. He knows your struggles, your silent battles, and the burdens you've carried for far too long. This is more than just about your actions. It's about your mindset, your energy, and the choices you make each day. Something you're holding on to is blocking the blessings God has prepared for you. Are you ready to listen? Before we dive deeper, pause for a moment. Let this message settle in your spirit. If you feel led, take a second to like this video, subscribe, and comment 99 below. This isn't for me. It's a powerful step in declaring that you're ready to receive the transformation God has for you. If you're truly a chosen one, your spirit knows this message is for you. Stay with me until the end, and I promise, your life will never be the same. Let's dive into what God is saying to you today. Do you feel it? That quiet, persistent whisper deep in your soul? That's not your imagination, it's your divine calling. It's been nudging you, sometimes softly, other times urgently, pushing you towards something greater. But here's the truth. Many of us ignore this calling. We become lost in the noise of everyday life, distracted by temporary pleasures, comfort zones, and the expectations of others. But make no mistake, God has placed a specific purpose in your heart, a mission that only you can fulfill. Every time you turn away from this calling, you rob yourself of the life of fulfillment, joy, and peace that God designed for you. Worse yet, you withhold the unique light within you that is meant to shine brightly in the world. It's time to stop running. Every moment you delay is a moment lost, a missed opportunity to align with your higher self and walk the path God has laid out for you. The universe is ready for you to awaken, but first, you must stop resisting the flow God has already set in motion. God knows you're ready. He's been shaping you, refining you, preparing you for this very moment. The choice is now yours. Will you continue turning away, or will you step boldly into your destiny? God sees the immense power within you. The energy you hold isn't just for survival. It's a divine force capable of building or destroying, depending on how you choose to channel it. Yet far too often, this divine energy is wasted. We pour it into fleeting pleasures, mindless distractions, and temptations that seem satisfying for a moment, but leave us spiritually drained and empty. We chase after temporary comforts, thinking they will ease the deeper longing in our souls. But these are illusions. empty promises that divert us from our true purpose. But listen closely to what God is speaking over your life today. This energy is not meant to be squandered. It's meant to fuel your spiritual growth, to power your divine mission, and to strengthen your bond with God. Redirecting your energy isn't about suppressing your desires or denying yourself joy. It's about mastering this sacred force, understanding its true purpose, and using it to build a life that honors God and aligns with His will. Every moment you spend practicing self-discipline, every prayer you lift up, every act of service you offer to others, it all matters. These are not small sacrifices. They are powerful investments in your divine future. God sees every effort you make, even the ones no one else notices. He honors your commitment, your struggles, and your dedication to walk the sacred path He designed for you. When you choose to redirect your energy, something extraordinary happens. You break free from living at the mercy of your impulses. You begin to live with intentionality, clarity, and divine focus. The distractions that once controlled you lose their grip, and you step into a place of strength and purpose. Understand this. God's plan for your life is far greater than any temptation or distraction you face. His purpose for you is deeper, richer, and more fulfilling than anything this world can offer. Trust in His process. Trust in His perfect timing. And as you surrender to His will and master the energy within you, watch how your life begins to transform in ways you could never have imagined. Chosen one. Your sexual energy is one of the most sacred and powerful gifts God has entrusted to you. It is not a burden or something to be ashamed of. It is a divine force designed to fuel creation, inspire greatness, and ignite your spiritual awakening. This energy is deeply connected to your very essence, woven into the fabric of who you are. God placed it within you as a bridge between the physical and the spiritual, the seen and the unseen. It is meant to empower you, to drive you toward fulfilling your divine purpose. But in a world consumed by instant gratification and fleeting pleasures, this sacred energy is often misunderstood and misused. Too often it is drained by meaningless pursuits, unhealthy relationships, and temporary desires that leave the soul feeling empty and disconnected. When misdirected, this powerful energy scatters your focus, clouds your mind, and weakens your spirit. It distracts you from the higher calling God has placed on your life, pulling you further away from your true path. Yet, when honored and redirected, this same energy can unlock unimaginable potential within you. It becomes a wellspring of creativity, fueling ideas, dreams, and actions that align with your divine mission. It deepens your spiritual connection with God, sharpening your clarity and strengthening your purpose. This is not about suppressing or denying your natural desires. It's about mastering them, guiding them with wisdom and intention towards something far greater than momentary satisfaction. God is calling you to rise above the noise of the world and protect this sacred force within you. He is inviting you to channel your energy into spiritual growth, divine creativity, and meaningful action. Every moment of self-discipline, every choice to honor this gift, brings you closer to the life God has destined for you. Do not squander this divine energy on things that do not serve your soul. Embrace it, honor it, transform it. Allow it to become the fuel that drives you toward your higher calling. When you align this energy with God's purpose for your life, you will experience a transformation so profound that your spirit will awaken to new levels of peace, clarity, and divine power. In a world that glorifies instant gratification and confuses self-indulgence with freedom, the path of celibacy is often misunderstood and dismissed. Society portrays it as a denial of pleasure, a restriction on personal freedom, or an outdated practice with no relevance in modern life. But for the chosen ones, those called to a higher purpose, celibacy is far from a limitation. It is a sacred strategy for spiritual elevation, empowerment, and divine alignment. Choosing celibacy is not about rejecting your humanity or suppressing your God-given desires. It is about mastering them, It is a conscious and courageous decision to redirect your most powerful energy, the creative, life-giving force within you, toward fulfilling your divine mission. This is a path of intentional living, where every action, every thought, and every moment is aligned with spiritual growth and deeper communion with God. By choosing celibacy, you are creating space for God to move mightily in your life. You are making room for clarity, wisdom, creativity, and divine guidance. The distractions that once clouded your mind begin to fade, and in their place, God plants visions, purpose, and unshakable peace. This practice refines your spirit, sharpens your focus, and strengthens your soul in ways that indulgence never could. God deeply honors those who walk this sacred path. Every act of self-control, every moment of resisting temptation, is not a loss, it is a victory. It is a bold declaration that you are ready to rise to the next level of your calling. Mastery over your desires doesn't weaken you, it empowers you. It becomes the foundation for divine creativity, unbreakable faith, and a profound sense of peace that the world cannot offer. Understand this. Discipline is not punishment, it is divine preparation. God is shaping you into the person who can handle the weight of the blessings and the mission He has prepared for you. When you choose celibacy, you are not sacrificing joy. You are gaining spiritual strength, clarity, and alignment with your true purpose. You are stepping into a life of deeper fulfillment, divine power, and unshakable peace. This is your moment to embrace discipline, to rise above worldly distractions, and to walk boldly on the sacred path God has prepared for you. You are not losing anything. You are gaining everything. Too often we find ourselves caught in the endless pursuit of approval from others. We chase recognition, praise, and validation, hoping it will fill the emptiness within us. We measure our worth by the opinions of friends, family, social media, and even strangers, thinking their approval will finally make us feel whole. But this search is exhausting and unfulfilling because no human approval can satisfy the deep longing in our souls. The truth is, God's approval is the only validation you will ever need. When you rely on external validation, you unknowingly hand over your power. You allow others to define your worth, your identity, and even your purpose. Their opinions become a mirror in which you try to find yourself, but that mirror is often cracked and distorted. You begin to shrink, to conform, to hide parts of yourself just to be accepted. But chosen one, hear this. God has already called you worthy. His love for you is not based on your performance, your popularity, or your achievements. His approval is unconditional, unwavering, and eternal. God knew you before you were formed in your mother's womb. He crafted you with intention and designed you for a divine purpose that no one else can fulfill. You don't need to earn His love. You don't need to prove your worth. In God's eyes, you are already enough. Every gift, every talent, and even every flaw has been woven together to serve His greater plan for your life. It's time to stop seeking validation from the world and start living in alignment with God's purpose for you. Stop letting the opinions of others dictate your path. Stop shrinking to fit into spaces God never intended for you. You don't need anyone else's approval to step into your greatness. You are already chosen, already equipped, and already loved. Walk boldly in the truth of who God created you to be. Let His voice be louder than the noise of the world. The moment you stop chasing validation and start embracing God's purpose, you will experience a freedom and peace that no human approval could ever offer. Here's a powerful spiritual truth that many overlook. God has gifted you with the divine ability to transmute energy. This means you have the power to take any form of energy, whether it's sexual desire, anger, fear, frustration, anxiety, or even deep pain, and transform it into a force for good. This isn't just a lofty idea. It is a spiritual reality, and one of the greatest tools God has placed within you. This ability is your spiritual superpower, designed to lift you beyond your struggles and align you with your divine purpose. Imagine this. What if the very struggles that once held you back could become the very fuel that propels you forward? What if your pain could be turned into purpose, your fear into unwavering faith, and your distractions into laser-sharp divine focus? That is the power of energy transmutation. Every negative emotion, every setback, and every temptation can be redirected and transformed into something powerful, creative, and life-changing. Transmutation is not about denying your feelings or suppressing your struggles. It's about rising above lower energies and consciously channeling them into creativity, service, love, and spiritual growth. It's about taking the raw, untamed energy within you and refining it into a divine force that brings glory to God and fulfillment to your soul. God has already equipped you with everything you need to master this divine skill. He has placed within you the strength, resilience, and wisdom to take what was meant to harm you and turn it into momentum toward your higher calling. This is how you break free from the cycles of stagnation, temptation, and fear. This is how you rise above the limitations of the flesh and walk fully in the spirit. Chosen one. When you learn to transmute energy, you unlock a level of spiritual power that makes you unstoppable. You begin to live with purpose, clarity, and passion, fully aligned with God's will for your life. The pain, the struggles, the desires, they all become tools in your hands, shaping you into the person God destined you to be. Embrace this divine power within you. Let it transform your life and guide you into the fullness of your calling. You are not a victim of your emotions or circumstances. You are a vessel of divine strength, created to rise and become a powerful force for good in this world. Chosen one, this is your moment. God has been preparing you for this very season. Every obstacle, every delay, every unanswered prayer has been part of His divine process. But now the time for waiting is over. It's time to stop running from your calling. Stop wasting your precious energy on things that drain your spirit. Stop seeking validation from the world. Redirect your energy. Embrace divine discipline. Transform your pain into purpose. God has already equipped you with everything you need to fulfill your destiny. The doors are ready to open, but you must take the first step. Don't let fear hold you back any longer. Don't let distractions steal your focus. Don't let doubt silence your purpose. Step boldly into the life God has prepared for you. Trust His plan. Surrender your fears. Walk in faith. Because once you do, your life will never be the same. Chosen one. The world is waiting for the light only you can bring. God knows what you're capable of. Now it's time for you to believe it too.